My husband started working late every night. I found out why I never thought I would. Become the type of woman who checks her husband's phone. I used to believe that if you had to spy on your spouse, the marriage was already over. Now I understand something different. Sometimes you don't spy. Sometimes you search for the truth because your heart already knows something is wrong. My name is Sarah. I'm 32 years old. I've been married to my husband Jake for 6 years. We met at work. We became friends. Then best friends. Then something more. Jake was funny. Hardworking, quiet, but thoughtful. The kind of man who remembered small details. My favorite coffee. My favorite song. How I liked my eggs. When he proposed, I cried. Not because it was flashy. Not because it was expensive. But because I truly believed I was marrying a good man. For the first few years, our marriage was simple and happy. We both worked full-time. We cooked dinner together. Watched shows at night. Went grocery shopping on weekends. Nothing exciting. Nothing dramatic, but peaceful. And I loved that. Then, about a year ago, Jake started changing. Not all at once, slowly. So slowly that I almost didn't notice. He started coming home late from work. At first, it was once or twice a week. I have extra tasks. We're short-staffed. Big project this month. It sounded reasonable. I supported him. I told him I was proud of how hard he worked. But then it became every night. 6 p.m. turned into 8. 8 turned into 10, sometimes even later. When I asked if he was getting overtime pay, he said no, that didn't make sense. But I didn't push. He seemed tired all the time. He barely talked during dinner. When I tried to hug him, he felt stiff. When I tried to kiss him, he turned his head. Not rude, just distant. I told myself he's stressed. He's exhausted. It will pass, but deep down, I felt lonely. I started eating dinner alone. Going to bed alone, waking up alone. It felt like I was married to a ghost. One night, I tried to talk to him. I said, "Jake, I miss you." He sighed. "I'm just tired, Sarah. I'm doing this for us." I nodded, even though my chest hurt. A few weeks later, I noticed something small. Jake started locking his phone. Before, he never did. We knew each other's passwords. Now, his phone always had a lock screen. When I asked about it, he said, "Company security rules." Another explanation that sounded reasonable, but my stomach tightened. He also started taking his phone to the bathroom, long bathroom trips with the fan on. With the door locked, I tried not to think about it. I really did, but every night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, asking myself the same question, is he cheating? I hated myself for even thinking it, but I couldn't stop. One evening, Jake came home around 9. He went straight to shower. He left his phone on the kitchen counter, face down. My heart started pounding. I stood there staring at it, telling myself, don't touch it, respect his privacy, trust your husband. Then I remembered all the lonely dinners, all the late nights, all the distance. My hand started shaking. I picked up the phone. I didn't know his password, but I tried something simple, our anniversary date. The phone unlocked. I felt sick. The first thing I saw was his messages. Most were normal, work chats, family group chat. Then I saw a name I didn't recognize. Lena. I opened it. The last message from Jake said, "I miss you already." My chest felt tight. I scrolled up. Lena. Last night was perfect. Jake. I wish we didn't have to hide. Lena. One day. Jake. Soon. There were no explicit photos, no graphic messages, but I didn't need more. Emotional cheating. At minimum, possibly more. I put the phone back exactly where it was. I went to the bathroom. I locked the door. I sat on the floor and I cried silently. Not loud crying, not screaming. Just quiet tears, the kind that make your chest ache. When Jake came to bed, I pretended to be asleep. He kissed my forehead, the same forehead he kissed after telling another woman he missed her. The next day, I did something I never thought I would do. I followed my husband. He kissed me goodbye and left for work. I waited 5 minutes. Then I got in my car. I stayed far behind him. He drove past his workplace. He kept going. My heart was racing. He parked in front of a small coffee shop. A woman was already standing outside. She smiled when she saw him. She hugged him. Not a quick friend hug, a long one. Then she kissed him. Right there on the sidewalk. I felt numb, not angry, not screaming, just empty. They went inside together. I didn't follow them in. I didn't need to. I had seen enough. I drove home. I spent the entire day thinking, Not crying, not yelling, just thinking. I asked myself one important question. Do I want to fight for this marriage? The honest answer was no. Not because I didn't love Jake, but because he had already left. That night, I cooked dinner like normal. We sat across from each other. I said calmly, I know about Lena. Jake froze. He didn't deny it. He didn't pretend. He just looked tired. How long? I asked. He looked down. 8 months. 8 months. Almost the exact time he started working late. I nodded. Do you love her? He hesitated. That hesitation was my answer. I don't know, he said. I stood up. I want a divorce. He looked shocked, like he expected crying, begging, screaming. I didn't have any of that left. We talked logistics. Who would move out? How to split things. No yelling. No throwing objects. Just quiet sadness. Jake moved out 2 weeks later. The divorce was finalized 3 months after that. I moved to a smaller apartment. I bought a cheap couch, a small dining table, a bed. Nothing fancy, but it was mine. The first few weeks alone were hard. The silence felt loud, but slowly something changed. I started feeling lighter. I started sleeping better. I started cooking meals I liked, watching shows I liked. I started going for evening walks. I started remembering who I was before I became someone's wife. 6 months later, I heard through mutual friends that Jake and Lena moved in together. 3 months after that, they broke up. Apparently, she cheated on him. When I heard that, I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel satisfied. I just felt finished. Finished with that chapter. I don't hate Jake. I don't wish him pain. But I'm grateful I didn't waste more years. Sometimes love ends, sometimes people change. But lying is a choice. Cheating is a choice. And staying with someone who disrespects you is also a choice. I chose myself, and for the first time in a long time. That feels enough. Comment below and tell me I'm not alone.